All right, game 2 against Mr. Gobbler of Knobs. Let's see what happens here. This is just to remind you guys, this guy's playing Urza. We had a pretty good game last game, actually. No real fast acceleration on his side of the board. I got early Soul Ring because he neglected to mental misstep it, but then he countered my Tithe, and I did not draw any blue mana for a long time, and it got really, really tight, actually, but I was able to claw my way out using a conjunction of Vidalcan Shackles to steal his commander, and then Oath of Druids to get a big creature into play to close out the game. This game, however, I do have Tithe and Brainstorm. Very, very good combo, particularly if I have a second land, but he's got so much blue counter magic. The fact that I saw Mental Misstep in game 1 is a pretty strong indicator to me that he may have some other 1-mana counters, things like Force Spike or Censor. I mean, who really knows? Or I guess Censor's 2 mana, but there's a bunch of different things he could have. Dispel, Spell Pierce, and I don't think that these ways of getting mana are reliable. So I'm going to have to mulligan at least one time to see if I can get something that's a little bit better. Plus, I got this big clunky thing in my hand. Treachery is pretty bad against him, too. Oko would be so awesome to get out against Mono Blue, particularly an artifact-based deck, but I can't reliably play that. So, regrettably, I have to mulligan. And off this hand, I get 2 different search cards and a way to fetch them. And despite the fact that it's got the same problem as the first hand, it's a little less clunky. Does have Life from the Loam to retrieve the land, and as well as a Remand to interact. So I decided to keep this. It's probably better than a random 5 because of these 2 cards. It's like I have a quasi 5-card extra hand. So I'm just going to throw the Mystic Confluence back. Workshop. Whenever your opponent leads with Workshop, you know bad things are afoot, because it means that he kept a hand with it. Mind Stone, all right? It's not the worst. That's bad. All right, well, I was thinking when he did this, I was thinking, well, maybe he doesn't have any blue mana. He's only got 4 cards left in hand. But then he also has Chrome Mox. Oh, yeah, Imprinting Future Sight. And Spellseeker, lordy. Well, fortunately, this doesn't get any. He spent a long time searching as well and said that he was going to go get color fixing. So I figured he'd get a card like Impulse or Brainstorm or Ponder or Preordain or something like that, one of the best search cards. And in fact, he does get Ponder, which makes a great deal of sense. I think probably Preordain is the best of those if you're in a situation where you're really digging for land. Because Ponder, if you don't hit land in the top 3, you get a random card off the top. At least with Preordain, you're digging 3 down, and you don't have to draw any of the ones that you put on the bottom, which you don't want to get. And Brainstorm, certainly without a fetch land, is the worst of the 3. He does have a redraw with his Mind Stone as well. So, yeah, you never really want to be facing down 4 mana on turn 1 when you only have 1. And, I mean, I guess he has 4 real mana plus an additional 3. So he's got 7 on turn 1. Yeah, rough seas ahead. Narset, not helpful. So I'm just going to go, and I'm going to cast Ponder first, because I don't want to Brainstorm lock myself. Interesting. Breeding Pool, Tarn, Vents. Well, short of like Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, that's pretty damn good top 3. So of course I'm not going to reshuffle. And I'm going to put the fetch land 3 from the bottom, and then put the 2 shock lands on top. And get Breeding Pool. Damn, he's got a second blue as well. He didn't even have to play Ponder. My real hope was that he just, because he obviously went to get Ponder to get a second blue, that he wouldn't draw one for a little while, and I'd be able to remand. His first attempt at playing Urza, and then play Narset and start to get ahead of it. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. He's just going to go straight out into playing his guy. God, it's so ridiculous. Turn 2, he has a 4/4 construct, and so much mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, absurd. And he plays Ponder, that one that he fetched up, and he elects not to shuffle. All right, well, all I can really do here is just hope that he makes some, either he has absolutely nothing or he makes some kind of a mistake, and I'm able to remand and draw into something good like Shackles again, Dak Faden, Vandal Blast. There's a few things I could draw, but it's going to take a little while. Does not attack with Urza. I'm not sure of that, but it probably is not going to matter much anyway. And then he just plays a land. So I'm going to Brainstorm end of turn. I get Beefy Teferi, but unfortunately I just don't have any time to even play him. So I'm going to put the Life from the Loam back. I mean, I figure it's better than nothing. the Life from the Loam, I just don't think I'm going to have any opportunity to play that at all. I really just have to play Chromatic Lantern here or Coalition Relic, and then try to just cast my commander to shore up the ground. If I can get a couple counters on my commander, I might not die, and he might not have anything in hand. He might get unlucky with Urza's ability, and there's a small range of ways I might be able to get out of this, but it does not. I think the chances are pretty low. Anyway, I'm going to lead with the Chromatic Lantern over the Relic, just because it's not as good. So if he's going to counter something, I prefer it's this. And he smartly uses Teferi in response, or Urza in response. Obviously, there's a lot of different cards that he could get that would allow him to counter this for free. And instead, he gets Gemstone Caverns. Interesting card, but does not stop my Lantern, so it does get into play. And then he Mystical Tutors in response. And after he casts, he gets Fabricate off this, which I thought was rather interesting. And then he's, before even attacking, which makes sense, he says, I'm going to Fabricate. And he asks me if I want to see the spice. And I say, yup, show me the spice. And it turns out the spice is Uba Mask. Kind of an interesting choice. He must really like the card. I mean, obviously, it's if your opponent is pinned down, putting out Uba Mask kind of prevents them from being able to claw their way back into the game with card draw. So I can kind of understand why he did that. There's probably some better things in his deck. He's got to be playing with Vidalcan Shackles, I imagine, among other things. But I guess Shackles isn't too good against my singular commander. Either way, he's going to cast Uba Mask and continue to make things difficult for me. He does not attack with Urza again. I take 6 this turn. Running out of time very quickly. All right, well, maybe it won't matter. Okay, there's a Water Grave on top. I guess I'll just take the damage to play that. And don't really have time to play anything else. I guess I could play Teferi and try to bury the Construct, which would reduce the oncoming damage quite a bit. But I decided I'd rather just play my commander first and see what happens. Because if I am able to get a couple counters on this, it can stop the Construct and I'll stop taking damage. And he's got a perfect answer in Mana Drain. He should have tapped the Mind Stone for blue mana just for style points. So that's getting countered. We are an unhappy panda here. 5 generic. And he Uba Masks up the Sensei's Divining Top. So now he can manipulate his draw. And the Construct gets larger and he draws a card off of it. Plays Remora. And then he sacks Mind Stone to draw. These are all good plays. I really like all these. Although I guess he should have attacked with the Construct first if he was going to sacrifice his Mind Stone. He looks. He draws another card. And he casts Transmute Artifact. Very cool card you don't see very often. And when I see 2 mana floating here, I know exactly what's coming. Bichrome Mox. Hello, Death. Yeah, it's not even the proper picture. It's got to be the bear, man. He didn't get the memo. It doesn't matter. He's got Urza Winter Orb. And I'm completely tapped out. And there's Uba Mask in play. And this is a hard lock. The hardest of hard locks. And with that, I summarily scoop it up. And we move on to Game 3, which will be coming up in just a minute. See you guys over there. Take care.